A peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening, release of water from Lagdo Dam stopped amid growing concerns of impact. Youth leader calls for investigation into killing at border oil facility. House of Representatives summon Accountant General, CBN. NNP suspends presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso. And on the foreign scene, Wagner chief buried in private funeral. I am Carl Orakwe with the news. The Director General of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Clement Nze, says managers of the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon have stopped the release of massive volumes of water from the dam. Mr. Nze's position is, however, different from that of the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Betta Edu, who said flooding is expected to start in 7 days. Addressing the media today in Abuja, Clement Nze said the spilling of water from the dam started on August 14, 2023 and stopped by 11 a.m. yesterday. The NIHSA bus said by August 25, the water released from the dam had reduced to 50 cubic meters per second, which he said was too negligible to cause any flooding downstream. Mr. Nze, however, added that the government will continue to observe the situation. Meanwhile, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, has urged the River State Governor, Similaye Fubara, and other state governors to step up actions by ensuring the immediate evacuation of Nigerians from flood-prone communities to safer destinations. The minister said this while addressing the media in Abuja at the instance of the presidential committee set up by President Bola Tinubu. On his part, the chairperson of the Ogubolo Local Government Area Flood Control Committee, Eunice Alabo, has charged residents to ensure regular cleaning of their environment. Mrs. Alabo, who is also the vice chairperson of the council, tells correspondent Soibi Oruwari some of the actions taken by the committee since its inauguration.
To please encourage cleaning of their drainages regularly. They should not put waste inside their drainages. My dear people of Ogubolo local government area, flood is indeed a disaster, and early preparation and prevention will lead to less deaths and sicknesses, especially displacements of families that could come with flooding. Let us join hands together and make Ogubolo local government area a flood-free local government.
The Ogubolo Flood Control Committee chairperson, however, warned that failure to comply with the directives of the committee would attract the full weight of the law.
I'm calling on the general public in Ogubolo local government area. They should desist from disposing deaths, waste, materials in gutters. For those of them doing construction, please, I want to beg and encourage them not to pour their sands, their gravel on top of drainages to block drainages. Please, I want to encourage those doing construction work to please desist from pouring their working materials on top of drainages to block drainages.
Meanwhile, a human rights advocate, Clifford Solomon, has criticized the government's seeming lack of readiness to tackle the recurring issue of flooding. Solomon, who is also the chairman of the Defense for Human Rights and Democracy, in an interview with correspondent Emeko Otuka, expressed concern over the absence of visible government measures to mitigate the impact of the flooding on its citizens. He called on the River State Governor, Similaye Fubara, to ensure that relief materials are not just distributed to flood victims, but cleaning of canals and drainages are enforced.
The federal, state, and local government area, none is prepared to mitigate the suffering that will be faced as a result of the pending flooding that will ravage the entire country, and in particular River State, which is our focus and major concern. More troublesome is the money that will be claimed to have been expended. We have also observed that instead of the state and local government areas tackling the flood prediction headlong, they are perambulating in the media houses, craving for publicity.
In Ahodo West, residents of some communities in the LGA have raised concern after the council authority last week distributed 1 bag of rice, 1 bag of beans, 1 bag of gari, a carton of noodles and 18 tins of tomato to each of the flood-affected communities in Ahodo West local government area of River State. The items were part of the materials donated to local government areas in River State by NEMA for distribution to victims of last year's flooding. Speaking with our correspondent, one of the youth leaders of Obiri-Kimogba community, Dennis Lotz, complained about the state of the bag of beans given to his community.
Don't even go around because by the last census, we have a population of about 14,000 persons in the community, and we have 27 sub-families. So it means even a bag of fire can't even serve one family, but more of sharing to an entire community. You notice that they brought in items like mattresses, engine machines, grinding machines, fertilizers, and then other cassava stems as well. So these items were not brought to us, and unfortunately, the beans spoiled. And every other community, when we made inquiries, they said the beans was not good.
Also, the CDC chairman of Awunuboko community in Ahoda West, Levi Salient, advised NEMA to work out better ways to distribute relief materials in the future. As Salient said, they were told that other items will be distributed after this year's flood.
There's no way everybody can get as much as needed. They complain even when company brings, it will always be, why would they bring one bag? Why would they bring 10 bags? When we have millions of people in the community, they told us that they had some zinc, some nails, some wood that NEMA brought the last time. So if this for any reason flood comes again and they bring this time around, they will add up the other one of last year. And I think the NEMA should be part of those who will do even at the local government level, so that you know that exactly what you sent is what said.
In April this year, NEMA took delivery of relief materials from the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs for victims of the 2022 flood disaster in some local government areas in Rivers State. Some of the materials include mattresses, roofing sheets, cutlasses, and food items. In other news, a youth leader in Ogoni, Legbosi Yamagbana, is calling for an investigation into the killing of 2 youth at an oil facility in Bodo community of Kana local government area of Rivers State. Yamagbana, who leads the Ogoni Youth Federation, in an interview with our correspondent, said the 2 men were guarding an oil facility that ruptured last week, causing an oil spill. He said the men were attacked and killed by assailants while working to prevent a fire outbreak and to discourage other youths from attempting to collect crude oil from the facility.
Gunmen invaded the community and went straight to a facility of SPDC that got ruptured and is causing spill. The community youths were mounting vigilance so that they will prevent inflammation because share is yet to go there for clamping and for JIV. The men invaded the scene and shot sporadically. And in the process, 2 persons confirmed death, others with several degrees of injury. I have been to the site and I can confirm that story to you.
Mr. Yamagbana also expressed concern that the SPDC has not taken action to secure the site.
Now, as I speak, that place is still leaking. JIV has not been conducted. SPDC has not done anything. I could also recall that sometime in 2022, a similar incident in Bodo where we had oil leak like this, and it took the government and Shell many months for JIV to be conducted and for that place to be clamped.
The police are yet to speak on the incident. The commander of the Civilian Joint Task Force, Nwachukwu Ada, says the federal government should have considered capacity and ability before appointing any private security company to protect all pipelines in the Niger Delta region. Mr. Ada said this on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire.
Because there are people giving the job that part of the areas they find out they don't do the job, instead of them they're into bunkering. How many of them are like that? And because of that, it may not really give much if effective. But if reaching them directly, the stakeholders, to choose those of them they know they are ready to do this work.
Ada also believes that oil pipelines cannot be properly secured without the input of all stakeholders, including the host communities.
Government security agencies may not know all, and when you use contract, yes, like the civil defense to fight against illegal bunkering. I think DSS and other government security agencies I have acted in one way or another on illegal bunkering activity, especially acts that created by DSS from what are they.
Bulletin Laura says cost of maintaining the newly created federal ministries and their ministers would have been used to improve economy. Shuma made an interview with Correspondent Subio Ruari in reaction to the record some aides who are not directly involved with any of the United Nations to attend in order to reduce the cost of governance.
You have a minister who is a former governor. What else does he want in terms of purchasing cars? Such minister is already people. You have minister who is a former senator, with all the allowances and everything that they have. So
Mr. Shumer suggested way and method government can reduce
that we are looking at. A permanent secretary who is serious can do the work that a minister would. A permanent secretary for a department of law economy, a permanent secretary for the research, a secretary for that know supervisory seat from his table, and the only people that report to the president are the ministers.
Still to come on the news this evening, NNPP suspends presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso. Do stay tuned. The House of Representatives on the Accountant General of the Federation, Watoyi Madin, Chairman of the Committee on Deduction National Home for Foreign Workers remitted to the Federal Bank. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) is expected to appear for the committee on Thursday. These are Nigeria People's Party and NPP suspect candidate like Rabiu Kwankwaso for alleged Babaye Mohammed Abdullahi during a news conference today. Actively President the People's Democrat President Atiku Abubakar and the presidential candidate of the Liberty PP tapped the board authorization. The party also suspended the National Working of the Party. Its appointed national officers headed Bo Major as acting national chairman and Ogini Ola as acting national secretary with 10 others. In business news, the area command of the Nigeria Customs Service at River State has announced a new generation of 57.4 naira between January and July this year. In entertainment, Nigeria's Diana's popping track "Calm Down" is now the first song ever to maintain its position at the summit of Billboard US Afrobeat Songs chart for a full year. Sporting news, Fulham have opened talks with Everton to sign Super Eagles midfielder Alex Iwobi. Iwobi has 1 year left on his current contract and could move away from the Toffees, who sit in the 20th place on the Premier League table.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
A Wagner chief, Yevgeny Prigozhin, has been buried in a private funeral in St. Petersburg. His press service said the ceremony was held in a closed format. It said all those wishing to say goodbye can visit the city's cemetery. 62-year-old Prigozhin was confirmed dead by Russian authorities after a genetic analysis of 10 bodies found in a crashed plane on 23 August near Moscow. The Kremlin has denied speculations it was to blame for the crash. And that just about does it here on the news this evening. But before we go, here's a quick look at the major stories. Earlier on, we told you the DG of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Clement Nze, says managers of Lagdo Dam in Cameroon have stopped the release of massive water from the dam. A youth leader in Ogoni has called for an investigation into the killing of 2 persons at an oil facility in Bodo Community. Accountant General and the acting governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria You heard New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has suspended its presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso for anti-party activities. And from the foreign scene, we brought you the story that Wagner chief has been buried at a private funeral in St. Petersburg. The news was edited by Onyekachi Musu. Rain is expected in Port Harcourt this evening. To reach the news team, do send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. Do remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of the nation. Let peace reign. I am Carl Oragwe. Goodbye.